I'm just going to do a review on my 2022 Polaris Ranger. I've had about 6 months and some of the add-ons I've done to it. Yesterday I spent the day cleaning up the garage, and there's some of the wife's outdoor tables that she's making out of wire spools. Anyways, this is the 22 Ranger Premium 1000. I'm going to end up putting a lift kit on it and bigger tires eventually once I wear these out. It's actually a great machine. I was a little hesitant to buy because I tend to like the racing type or the fast type machines. But this has been great. We used it for hauling gravel, logs, sawing off the back, just general driving around mud, dirt roads, tight trails. It'll push over little branches and trees, no problem. Great all-around machine. Okay. The first addition I did to this side-by-side is a 6,500 pound keeper winch with a Wi-Fi remote. Works excellent. I got it mounted to a rough country winch plate, and I got a worn bump stop for the line. Eventually I'll go synthetic line, but right now the wire line's perfectly fine. The only other thing I had to do is the Wi-Fi module. I had to Velcro with some bungee cord to the actual electronics module on top of the winch, and I had to move the winch electronics thing. I just unbolted it from one side and flipped it out so it would fit in, because the winch doesn't sit vertical like it would on a Jeep bumper. So, but other than that, it works excellent. Then I got this used top from a little older generation. A friend of mine had it after a mishap accident, so bought that for a couple boxes of beer. And I also bought the front and rear windshield from rough country outdoors. I was a little hesitant, but it's half the price of the Polaris one. It's the polycarbonate hard coated. The only issue I had with that, because I love these vents that are on here, you can open, close them, direct them to blow air on you, and it does good, and it straps tight to the side, is this gasket material here. It's like a D channel. It's supposed to fit all the way around, but it never did. It's a little tighter tolerance. It must be a little difference in the frame and roll cage around this 22 generation, because it was so tight I could not get it in without the windshield buckling. So I ended up cutting it, doing an upper and lower strip up under the windshield, and just putting a piece of foam tape on the inside to make it fit nice and tight. But it doesn't rattle. I've hauled it down the highway on the back of the trailer at 110 kilometers an hour. No, real sturdy thing. No scratches yet either. And I put this aftermarket manual windshield wiper. And I do got a windshield washer, pump, and motor I haven't put on yet that will go into this hood. I just haven't found the need to really put it in. I'm going to end up putting a drain on that so I could drain water out of it, because I don't recommend using any kind of windshield washer fluid on this polycarbonate, because it'll tend to streak. But I've never had an issue with it so far. Throw some water on it, just blot it dry, and I don't swirl it, so no scratches yet. And the back windshield is very much similar to the factory. It has that same kind of D channel trim around it for air tightness, and it's a quick connect. It's just 3 little knobs, and you can pull that out in a matter of minutes. But all in all, that rough country for half the price of a standard Polaris, I'd buy it again 100%. Everybody told me go glass, but I don't know, 6 months of use now, over 1,000 kilometers of dirt roads, trails, branches, towing, and I haven't had a problem with it yet. And I am picky when I use my windshield wiper, because that will probably scratch eventually, especially with dirt and grime on it. But no complaints here. I'd recommend the rough country windshield, front and rear. I'm going to give you a little before and after shot of the Polaris Ranger. This is the before shot. I'm just going to do some rough measurements here to kind of see where we end up with the actual overall difference in the lift. We'll go off this tire here. We'll go right in the center here, off the top of the tread, right to this front corner, and that's right there at the edge is about 10 inches. We got roughly 12 inches of clearance at the rocker panel, and off the back edge of this tire, I guess that's not really a good measurement, but we'll go up to the bottom of the Ranger sign, and that's 13 inches off the edge of the tire. So hopefully we'll see 15 inches of clearance there at the rocker panels. Ideally what I'm going to be looking for. Yeah, because it's pretty even, about a foot right to the bottom of that rocker panel. Well, that'll be nice. Then we'll get a little bit more when we put the bigger tires on. Okay, today's project I'm going to install the Rough Country 3-inch bracket lift with progressive coil springs and 1.5-inch wheel spacers. Right here I got it laid out front and rear. You got your wheel spacers with the Loctite, you got your bracket lift, and your progressive coil springs. And for the rear you got a bracket with all the spacers and sway bar links that are extended for the 3-inch lift. The wheel spacers are just fairly cheap ones off Amazon. I couldn't get the actual Rough Country ones, they were out of stock, so I went for these ones. Eventually I'll put a bigger tire on, I don't know, a 30-inch compared to the 26 that are on it right now. But might go 31s, I don't know. We'll see what the budget entails when I get down to doing that. For Rough Country in general, they got really good videos and really good online instructions for all the accessories you can buy through them, light bars, racks, and stuff. And eventually I'll get to the point here doing projects for this Polaris, because I like trying to build stuff, and cheap gets me too. I am going to build a sheet metal frame that fits in tight around the roll cage and all the body work. Set of doors for it, full doors for winter riding here in Atlantic Canada. That'll be another project. And I also am going to do a rack system. I haven't decided if I'm just going to do like a post off the back here and come up and extend it over the roof a bit so I can put kayaks and paddle boards and other stuff on it, or if I'm going to do the type that connects to the roll cage here and kind of swoops up so you still got the full access of the dump bed, which is kind of what I'm leaning for. I just haven't decided if I'd have to put a front bracket to keep the kayaks from sitting right on the roof and the paddle boards, but I'll figure it out eventually. It'll be a winter project, I imagine. I won't get it done before the end of summer, but yeah, there are a few of the things I'm gonna have on the go. And the steel doors, I might fiberglass body panels for it, or I might do sheet aluminum and just rivet it to the steel frame. Haven't decided yet, but they'll be sliding plexiglass windows, and I might do them as half doors, then a module setup that I can set the windows in. So, but I don't know yet. We'll figure it out as we go, but that's something to look forward to in the near future. Okay, I'm working on the first spring. I got the 2 spring compressors on here. They're actually McPherson strut compressors, but they don't fit super tight, but I think they'll be safe enough to do. And I know it's a no-no to use an impact socket to tighten it up, but I'm going to do it anyways. Just a little bit on each side. There. little bit more. There, that should give me a good gap there to get this out. There. I guess the secret is to pry the little rubber back so you can slide that out easier. Might need a little bit more. There, little plate comes out, and now we get back off the spring. There, we got the spring off. Now we're going to compare this. There's a more progressive coil that you can see. Got a little tighter rings up at the top of the spring. Helps dampen it out a little better. And there's also for the front spring, there's this spacer bar. I guess must put more tension on it. I don't know if I technically need it as much for the preload. But we'll see how we make out. Okay. I'm going to leave these preload springs out, I think. It hasn't worked. Okay. Okay, we got the clip back in. Now. Okay. Now I scraped up the springs quite a bit there, but I think this is seated properly by the looks of it. Progressive spring up. I think that's what we got. Okay, I had to regroup because I went to take the front wheel off and put my wheel spacer on first before I disconnected the suspension here. And I noticed the kit comes with front stabilizers sway links, and I don't have any on this particular model. So that's one less thing I have to do. And then my wheel spacers, went to put them on, and the holes for them were too small to actually fit a socket into. So I luckily have a neighbor that is a machinist and lives right next door that has heavier equipment, so I got him to drill out the top of the holes so it didn't affect the hub-centric bolt patterns, and we still got plenty of meat on the bottom of these hub spacers, so it shouldn't be an issue now. Because my little box covered milling machine and lathe, I don't got tooling big enough to do what I needed to do there to get these 3/4 inch bolts on. But so I'm not going to need these front ones for the sway bar links, so that's one less thing I have to do, and I got the back ones here. So the cheap forged wheel spacers didn't work out as good as I want and set me back a few hours of navigating how to get them on, but I should be good to go now. There, I got the wheel spacers on, all Loctited in, got the shock off, and I got these upper brackets put in, spacers and all. Just 2 bolts, then a shock bolt. But I think all in all, it's got it, even with the stock 26-inch tires on 12-inch rims, it's got a real nice stance now. The progressive springs, I did stiffen up the adjusters on them, just one click from totally soft, but it seems to have a little more firmer stance there. I think it looks really good for the way it stands now. It definitely, when I sit in it, definitely, you definitely feel more firmness, that's for sure. Hopefully with 3 inches wider stance, she'll balance out with a 3-inch lift. And then we'll take some measurements of the whole thing like we did when we first started. We'll see what the difference is. Kind of take a look at what it's for. I believe before it was at 12, right kind of to the rocker panel. Right now it looks like it's right about 15, so I did gain 3 inches of lift there on that rocker panel section, which is nice. To this front corner, I can't remember what that was, but that's a full 13 inches to that front corner from the center of the tire. And off the back tire here, I can't remember what that was up to the Ranger, but that's 18 inches up to the bottom of that Ranger sign. But I got plenty of clearance now for maybe even 31-inch tires, I don't know. I'll probably stick with 30s or 29s, that's plenty big enough. And I'll probably go with the truck style tires. I got a Humminbird here stuck in my garage. It likes the reflective insulation on the roof. It won't get out till the morning, probably daylight. I try to entice it with the outside lights, but it keeps flying around. Hopefully it won't be daytime in the morning, but it definitely is a more aggressive stance. I'll take her out for a test spin in the morning before we have afternoon obligations tomorrow, as vacation is starting to wind down for me. And I'm definitely going to go hit the shower, because I should have washed it off better than I did than just wiping it off with a rag before I assemble everything. I should have gave it a real good cleaning.